What's up guys, Coach Justin from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in today's video we're going to be talking about something that's absolutely killing your bat speed if you're not doing this specific thing. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to correctly do this in your swing. I'm going to share with you a few drills to really get this feeling down so that you can start hitting the ball harder and further on a more consistent basis. All right, so what is this thing that's killing your bat speed? Let's talk about it. So as a hitter, you've probably heard the term separation before, and the lack of quality separation is what's really holding you back from reaching your maximum bat speed and power levels, right? The more separation that you can get in your swing, and by separation I mean separation between your lower body and your upper body. The more separation you can get, the more energy that's built up to then explode on the baseball. And so a great example is a boxer that's getting ready to throw a punch. I mean, sure, you've got the little jabs, right? But I'm talking about they're trying to go for that haymaker, right? Whether it be a right hook or whatever the case may be. If they're going for a powerful punch, their most powerful punch, are they gonna pull their hand back this far and then just try to push it forward? I mean, is that going to be right there? Is that their most powerful punch? No, what they're going to do is they're going to draw their arm back like this. They're going to squeeze their scaps together, and they're really going to get as much energy built up as possible to deliver that blow. Well, it's the same in your baseball swing. And so a common problem that I see with a lot of younger hitters is they get in the batter's box and they get in their stance, all right? And I don't care how you start, I don't care how you stand. Stance is just a starting point. But I want you to pay attention to my hands, okay? So you see my hand position here. I'm not saying you have to start with your hands here. You might like them down here. You might like them higher, further back, whatever. But if I start with my hands in this position here, one of the worst things you can do for your bat speed and power is just load and stride. And as I stride forward, allow my hands to kind of drift with me forward like this, because I don't have any separation here, okay? Instead of my hands being back and having length in this front arm, and really, I mean, what looks like a more powerful position? This here or this here? Obviously, this here looks like a more powerful position. It looks like that boxer that drew his hand all the way back, right? It's the same thing. So we want to get that separation, but how do we do it? Well, before we hop into the quick little drills to help you actually feel what it's supposed to feel like, a couple mental things that I want you to keep in mind. Number one, okay, I've talked about this in the past, but I think it's worth re-mentioning because it's absolutely critical that you avoid this common mistake. When you go into your load, you never want to do any manipulation with your hands in terms of pushing them backward towards the backstop, okay? So in other words, you don't want to start here like this and push them back this way. You don't gain quality separation by manipulation or pushing your hands, right? You don't do that. Same thing with the boxer. He doesn't gain quality separation by being robotical and pulling back like this and then pushing forward. That doesn't look very natural, does it? Well, we don't want to do that in the baseball swing either. We don't want to push back. It has to be fluid. It has to be natural. And so one key to think about mentally is when you, all right, I'm in my stance right here. When you load, your hands really shouldn't be moving backward too much when you load. Some hitters, especially leg kick type hitters, you can see their hands might work down a little bit as they go into their leg kick, their hands, it's almost like a timing mechanism, right? You might see their hands work down a little bit, but they're definitely not during their load pushing their hands back, okay? But really, when your hands work up and back and you get to that good separated position is when you load, and then as you're striding towards the pitcher, okay? So my hands might work down just ever so slightly, but as I stride forward towards the pitcher, okay, that's when you want to think about your body walking away from your hands. So my hands are staying back here like this, okay? I'm not pushing them back. My hands are staying back here like this. And as I go this way, right, I'm walking away from those hands, all right? And then the last mental cue, we talked about that boxer when they pull their elbow, pull their hand back. It's almost like they're getting a little scap squeeze going on back here, right? They're squeezing their shoulder blades together. Well, the same thing kind of happens in your baseball swing, but I think personally, it's a lot to think about, thinking about, okay, let me walk away from my hands and, oh, I got to squeeze my scaps together and stuff. And so something that I think will get you in that same position that's a little easier to think about is just as you load, okay, and as you stride, turn your back, show your numbers to the pitcher, turn your back towards the pitcher. And I'm not talking about over exaggerating it, like turning this far. All I'm talking about is, okay, this is my starting point. all right? I load, and as I stride, I walk away from my hands, and when I stride forward, okay, again, when I'm going forward, if I do a good job of keeping my hands back and showing my numbers to the pitcher, automatically I feel right now on the back side of my right shoulder and my scap here, I feel, without even thinking about squeezing my scaps together, automatically when I just show my number to the pitcher, I get that same feeling. So that's a little mental adjustment you can think about as well. As you're striding forward, just show him your numbers, right? That's also going to keep your front shoulder nice and closed, your eyes on the baseball. But what can we do to actually get this feeling of separation down? Because it's one thing to make these mental adjustments, but it's another thing to actually feel. Baseball is such a game of feel. So if you can feel it, then all of a sudden it's like that light bulb goes off in your head. Oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Then it's easier to replicate. Okay, so what's the first little drill that you can do to kind of feel this? You don't even need a ball or a tee or a partner or anything for this. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over there. But basically what you're gonna do, you can do this at home in your living room in front of your mirror, but you're just gonna do this almost in slow motion. You're gonna start out in your stance. Okay, however you like to stand, you're gonna start on your stance, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna load, you're gonna stride, and you're gonna get to a launch position, and you're gonna stop from there. You're gonna check, once you get to the launch position, did I get that good quality separation? Am I in a good launch position? All right, so it's best to start out doing this super, super slow so you can get the feeling of it, and then gradually kind of pick up the pace from there, okay? But I'm in my stance here, and it might help to narrow your feet just ever so slightly. If you stand like this, it might help with just getting the feeling to stand a little bit with your feet more close together. But all you're gonna do is take a little load, rock back. Remember, I'm walking away from my hands, and I'm also showing my numbers to the pitcher, okay? And then I'm just getting in the launch position and freezing, all right? So it's gonna look something like this. Load, okay? And then I'm gonna check, okay? Is the distance between my feet, is that good? Am I overstriding or am I not striding enough? Okay, so is that good? Did I land with my front foot slightly open? All right, am I sunk down into my legs? Is the knob of my bat facing the catcher? And do I have length in here? Or did I allow my hands to kind of drift forward with me? Okay, so you can just do that, load and stride, and get to this position here and look at your checkpoints. And another quick little way to get this feeling, this is not perfect, but it gets you close to, oh, okay, that's kind of what that feeling is. You can actually grab a fence, okay? So you wanna be at an entryway. You don't wanna grab just like the chain link fence. You wanna be at an entry point within the fence. So you can grab the fence with a good reverse grip here. But I'm gonna position my back foot pretty much even with this pole here. And then I'm gonna start with a reverse grip right here. And so you'll notice I'm starting with my hands pretty much where they would be when I'm just in my stance. And then again, all you can do is you can take a little rock back, and we're just striding forward, and we're getting the feeling of keeping our hands back, okay? You can even do it in super slow motion and just feel, you know, what this position feels like, all right? So as I'm striding towards the pitcher, I still have everything else back here ready to fire. And then if you have access to a set of bands, this is another thing that you can do to get that feeling a little bit. And it's not absolutely perfect, but it's enough to where if hitters are really struggling with getting some separation, they can at least feel, oh, that's what it feels like to have a little stretch in my lats and a little length in my front arm. So it's not perfect by any means, but I think just to get that feeling, it's worthwhile doing. So I've got the clip position pretty much head height here. I don't want it too low. I don't want it too high, about head height here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stretch out here to a point where I can feel some tension. Start with my hands pretty much where they would be in my stance. And then again, same thing. All I'm gonna do is load and stride. And as I stride forward, okay, I'm gonna feel what it feels like to, oh, okay, that's what that feels like. You can even do it with just your bottom hand, right? Load and stride forward, and oh, okay, that's what that feels like with my lower half beginning to turn, followed by my upper body, right? As my front heel drops, that's kind of what starts the rotational component of the swing, but you can feel that resistance, and that's gonna just help you, you know, start doing it in your tee work and your soft toss and your front toss and BP, and soon enough, it'll transfer to a real game. You'll be able to hit the ball a lot harder and a lot further and do it more consistently, all right? So if you enjoyed today's video, if you liked these exercises, please leave me a like. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. We're coming out with brand new baseball videos every single week. I don't want you to miss them, so subscribe, turn your notifications on. And last thing, If you scroll down to the comment section, this is important, you're gonna see a little link there. Click on that link and go watch the free on-demand video training that I put together for you. It's gonna help you with really just understanding exactly what to do to improve your hitting when you go to the field. So you're gonna have complete clarity on, okay, this is exactly what I need to work on. This is what's gonna take my hitting to the next level, and it's 100% free. So go click that link, watch it now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.